Hi, it's Mike Thornton, and in this review I'm going to take a look at a new compressor plugin from Sound Radix. Powair isn't just another compressor. It has a number of features that set it apart from other compressor plugins. The first is a loudness leveler section, which is great for loudness workflows, as you can now set your target loudness and the amount of gain adjustment you want, and Powair will enable you to deliver loudness compliant content. The second part of Powair is a compressor with a different take on gain detection and reduction that isn't based on analog models, isn't a VCA, but handles everything in the digital domain. So let's start with the leveler section. You can set the target loudness with this control. Then you have a noise floor control, which sets the floor below which gain will not be applied by the leveler section, so preventing the lifting of low-level noise that you can get with some conventional compressors. The gain range sets how much gain adjustment will be applied, and obviously smaller amounts will limit the maximum gain or attenuation introduced by the leveler to smaller changes, whereas higher amounts will enable you to get larger adjustments and help level out wayward audio. Now here I've got an instance of NewGen Audio's Viz LM2 so that you can also see what Powair is doing. The trace that you can see is the short-term loudness, that's averaged over 3 seconds. So let's take a look and listen at some raw audio from a past podcast.
Well, I mean, I wonder about, you're talking about stuff that's made for TV that's taking on, just because, I mean, if we're talking about theatrical content that's going out over broadcast, then...
To save some time, let's skip to the end of this section, and there you have it. Although the target loudness is okay, the loudness range is excessive for this type of program. So let's enable the leveler section and play through the audio with just the leveler.
Well, I mean, I wonder about, you're talking about stuff that's made for TV that's taking on, just because, I mean, if we're talking about theatrical content that's going out over broadcast, then is it just not strict enough?
And you can see that it's contained the excessive variations and brought the loudness range under control for a podcast or documentary. But perhaps I've slightly overdone it, so let's reduce the leveler range and enable the compressor section and see what that looks and sounds like.
Well, I mean, I wonder about, you're talking about stuff that's made for TV that's taking on, just because, I mean, if we're talking about theatrical content, is it just not strict enough?
So here's the original audio, and this is the processed audio with just the leveler. And this is the processed audio with the leveler and the compressor working together in tandem rather than fighting with each other. This, for me, is a major step forward, and in some of my workflows, Powair has replaced 3 plugins. And what's more, I found it great for leveling content with significantly different levels between different voices. To demonstrate this, I have another section from a podcast where Russ, Julian and myself are all at different levels. But there aren't a whole raft of, shall we say, more cost-effective monitor controllers.
There's the MC5, there's the MC 7.1 from Drama.
Yeah. I've used the SPLs. They're good once you understand the buttons on the front, which...
Yeah, I mean, the Focusrite 4 Pre and 8 Pre have got a pretty comprehensive monitor selection as well. And this is what the clip looks like on Viz LM2. And you can see the different levels between myself, Julian and Russ. So now let's apply the Powair and see what that looks and sounds like. But there aren't a whole raft of, shall we say, more cost-effective monitor controllers.
There's the MC 7.1 from Drama, which is a 7.1 controller.
I've used the SPLs. They're good once you understand the buttons on the front, which take a little bit of getting used to.
There are some ideas for you. Now, I think that's pretty impressive, and it certainly saved a client's bacon where they had an interview recorded with a single mic and the contributors' levels were very, very different. and I was struggling to fix it with conventional tools, but once I'd tried Powair, I was able to save the session. So what do I think of Powair? Well, I love it. It has revolutionised my loudness workflows and is able to level out some very challenging audio. The new look at detection and reduction works really well and gives us adaptive and punch options as well. So thanks to Sound Radix for such a versatile dynamics management tool. I'll see you again soon.